What's up, guys, gals, Pathways into Darkness fans? I assume that's why you're here. Today is a great day. I've decided to come out of video game retirement to do a playthrough of one of my most favorite and greatest games of all time, Pathways into Darkness. So this all got started a couple of months ago. I was talking to one of my gamer buddies, and this game came up. And I was wondering, I wonder if there's a playthrough of this on YouTube. Turns out there is. Effing Controller did it about 5 years ago, I think. It was good. I enjoyed it. I watched it. But I found myself screaming at the computer. It just so happens that I'm an expert at this game, and he made a lot of mistakes and didn't play the way I thought he should have. So I thought, what the hell? I'm going to do my own playthrough. And here we are. So you'll notice there's a badge right here on the front. Macworld Game Hall of Fame 1993. I had to dig deep into the vault to find this one. Check out these system requirements. Requires 8-bit, that's 256, color-equipped Macintosh computer with 2 megs of free RAM, system 6.0.5 or higher, and a hard disk. Includes 3.5 800K discs. And this game was made by Bungie. Now, that might sound familiar. They're the studio responsible for Halo. But long before the Halo days, they were an exclusively Mac gaming platform. Yes, I grew up using Macs. Go ahead and laugh. I don't care. This game is awesome. And it's also made back in the day when games were actually hard. It was not easy to beat this game. It just so happens I became an expert because I bought the strategy guide. Even with the guide, my first playthrough with the guide, I didn't beat it. It's that hard, at least when you're 10 years old. So, let's see. The premise of the game. We'll just flip to the back for that. In the upper left corner here, the alien projection appeared in the early spring of 1993, flickering suddenly into existence deep within the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. The hologram of the Jaro diplomat interrupted, quite deliberately, an important briefing of the president by his senior military staff. It told them they had 6 days to save the world. I'll get into the story a bit more later, but let's just peruse the back here. Let's see, what do we have? We look at the features down here. We have continuous motion, 3D texture map, 8-bit, that's 256 again, color graphics, active panning stereo sound. I will be playing with headphones, so that's good to know. Spectacular graphical effects. Intuitive Macintosh interface. Over 4 million square feet of terrain to explore. Many puzzles to solve. They're not kidding about that. Resizable graphics window to fit any monitor. That's all right. Oh, here we go. High resolution graphics with optimal performance mode for slower computers. All right. Auto mapping. Feature that tracks your every move. Intriguing monsters and characters woven into an engrossing plot. Check out some of those screenshots. Yep, we got some skeletons walking around. We got, there's a big gun. The M79 grenade launcher rules. It certainly does. Let's do a little unboxing of this, shall we? Open up the cover here. Woo! Got our instruction manual sitting on top. It's actually important that you read this. Yeah, one more thing. If you've never played this game before, I dare you to play it. It's hard, it's fun. Stop watching this right now and find a copy of this and play it. I dare you to beat it on your first playthrough. It's not that easy. You could probably do it if you're very careful and you have a lot of time on your hands to do a lot of exploring, because this game does not hold your hand. It is up to you to figure out what the hell is going on, where to go, what to do, and I'll just leave it at that. No spoilers. No, please don't copy, but you know, not much DRM on the 3 floppy disks that it came on. Disk 1, installation, Disk 2, Disk 3. That's it. It is pretty impressive what they managed to pack onto 3 floppy disks. And I mentioned earlier I was an expert. This is why, not on my own accord. I did buy this back in the day. And well, It tells you everything you need to know. There's one part that I think they left out, but we'll get to that later. And also, if you guys are interested in the premier Macintosh gaming magazine featuring exclusive sneak peek previews of new Mac games, you might be interested in subscribing to the premier Macintosh gaming magazine, Mac Games. It's got a 9 ball on the A. I thought that would be an 8 ball. Okay. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can call this 708 number, sign away your credit card, that's a Visa or MasterCard, or you can mail in for $28. Make sure you tell them your internet email address. All right, I think that's enough introduction. Oh, well, I haven't really talked much about the premise of the game other than what's on the back of the box. So the whole idea was, and you can pause the video here and try to read this if you want. 64 million years ago, a large extraterrestrial object struck Earth in what would later be called the Yucatan Peninsula. So this basically a immortal alien god slammed down on Earth, and he was so pissed off he killed all the dinosaurs, and 64 million years later he's waking up and he's still pissed off. And it's our job to quell him. He can't be killed. You know, what the Pentagon really should have done is just send in the bunker busters, baby. Boom, 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 one after the other. Bury this sucker. But they decided to go the SEAL Team 6 route, which is more fun for us. So your objective is to go into the catacombs of this pyramid that he's sleeping under and plant a low-yield nuclear device and get the hell out of there before it detonates. So you go with your team. Unfortunately, you have a parachute malfunction during your skydive from your C-151, and you crash, kind of come on, you are unconscious for, what does it say, 2 hours? So your team gives up, leaves you. I don't think that's very SEAL Team 6-y, but that's what they did. And so you wake up, you have the muzzle of your M16 is bent just enough to render it useless. You have a Colt 45, but there's no ammo for it. And you are by yourself. So you decide to head on to complete the mission alone. You enter the pyramid, and that's where the game begins. So, let's jump right into it. See you guys there. So, here we are. I lied. I'm not going to jump right into the game yet. I thought I'd talk a little bit about my setup. So, I'm running on Windows 10, obviously. I'm using a emulator, I guess is the right word here, program called Sheep Shaver. I was able to download a ROM file, a system image. I followed a tutorial online to plug all that stuff into Sheep Shaver, and it came up and it worked. I also gave myself a massively too big 700 megabyte hard drive where I installed Pathways. I actually didn't install the game from the floppy disks. I also bought back in the day a Marathon Trilogy box set, which was the next. Marathon Trilogy were 3 games in the Marathon series that Bungie made after Pathways. They're also first-person shooters. And that actually came with Pathways. And lo and behold, I popped the CD into my computer. The Sheep Shaver recognized it. It came up. And I was able to install Pathways from that. So I didn't actually use the floppies, which is good. I didn't want to have to track down a floppy drive. But just in case anyone is going down this same path, trying to play this game, I thought I might demonstrate a couple of gotchas that I found along the way and how to overcome them. So first things first. Well, let's just try to launch the game and see what happens. Pathways. Pathways into darkness. Shapes, sounds, maps. Pathways manual. Oh, save games. Something interesting about the save games file. It is a whopping 297K. I don't know what's in there or how they did this. I'm actually a software developer by day, so I'm interested in these kinds of things. I wouldn't know where to even begin to write a game like this, so I've kind of been poking some fun at it, taking some jabs at it, but I'm very impressed with what they were able to do here. You know, they packed this entire game. It's a long game onto 3 floppy disks. But I'd love to know what in the hell is 297K on the save game file for a game like this. But anyway, so something that effing controller did. Um, he actually found a cheating program online that lets you go in and edit your save game files specifically for this game. I'd love to pull this out, look at it in Hex Editor. I wonder if I could figure out what was going on there. I doubt that there's any encryption involved in that. I don't know why I'm closing out windows and they're all closing. It's like I have the Option key held down. That's how I used to do that in Classic Mac. Anyway, oh yeah, this is a System 9. That is not what I was expecting to see there at all. No, not about the Finder. I want about the computer. Huh. Anyway, you'll just have to take my word for it. I'm using System 9. As you may recall, we only need System 6, so we're good there. We do, in fact, have a hard disk. We're good there. Let's try to launch this up, see what happens. And for, oh, sorry, Pathways into Darkness will only run on a monitor set to 256 colors or grays. Okay, I'm going to go quick just to show you how to change it natively. Our nice little control strip down here. We can do this real fast. Click here, 256 colors. Oh yeah, mucks up our background or our desktop. That's fine. Okay, all the problems are solved, right? Let's try that again. Oh, sorry. Pathways into Darkness couldn't allocate any sound channels. They may be in use by other applications. Well, we know that's a lie. So, it actually took me a little while to figure this out, and let's just quit this for now. And what do you know? You actually have to go into the control panels, access via the Apple menu, go down to Sound, and simply select the device. You would think that would be selected by default, but oh, yeah, now we're cooking with gas. So those were the two things I had to overcome to play this game. Everything should work now. Let's take a look. Hey, awesome. I don't know why I have two save games here. We're just going to delete all these. There's nothing important in there. Yes. And we're going to go new game. And boom, this is the immersive world of Pathways into Darkness, as close as you're going to get to virtual reality without a helmet. And we have a friendly welcome message here. Welcome to Pathways into Darkness. Because this is the first time you've played, here are a few hints to make it run smoothly. Keep your window size small is pretty much what that says. Okay. Now, since I'm using a Core i7 7th gen CPU here, I think we can push some Pathways into Darkness. I'm going to make these windows, or the gaming window, a little bit bigger. That's what she said. All right. So we do that by dragging it like so. It really does slow down if you get too big. So you need to find a perfect medium of being able to see what the hell you're doing and getting better than 2 frames a second. That looks okay. Maybe make it just a tad smaller. Okay, that's probably about optimal range for me. And let's take a quick look at these windows. So we have the untitled game window up here. That's really the name of your save file. We have our health, which is 100%. That's interesting because I thought we were just lost and almost dead in the jungle, but okay. Power meter is empty. We'll figure out what that's for later. I am 0.0 meters above ground. Who knew? The base of this pyramid is right at sea level. All right. I've scored 0 of 41 points and recovered $0 in treasure. Okay. Let's check out these weapon proficiencies. Melee combat expert. That's a bit laughable. You'll see in a second. Colt 45 pistol expert. That's nice. Yeah, I already mentioned it. Spoiler alert. You don't ever actually find any Colt 45 ammo, so just to keep our inventory clean, I'm going to drop this. M16 rifle. Maybe we'll find one of those later, perhaps. Here's the awesome inventory window. Yeah, it's just a list. It's a tree list. As far as I know, there is absolutely no limit on the amount of weight you can carry. It's really quite amazing how much stuff this guy manages to stuff into his pockets. But so far, we have a map. Let's take a look at that. Boom. Not much there. So this completes as you walk around the level. It's a magic map. You might have caught that hint on the back of the box when we were looking at the auto mapping feature. So you can drop your map, run around, come back, pick it up, and it magically draws itself. Well, okay, enough of that. You have a digital watch on your wrist. That's actually important. So there is a time limit to this game. Again, from the story premise, you might remember that it said you had 6 days to save the world. They weren't lying. So this alien monster wakes up in 6 days, and if you don't plant the nuclear device and give yourself enough time to get the hell out of there, you lose the game. And the time is important because you recover HP, your health, by resting. And so there's no med kits in this game. Anytime to recover health, you rest, but that takes time. So you can't rest forever or you're going to run out of time. You have your flashlight, which is on, which also means you can turn it off. It must be strapped to his head because I never see him actually shining it. You have this canvas bag, which, oh, you know what? Let's examine these things. So this examine button, you can highlight anything and it tells you things about the item you're carrying. Your map is just a pen and paper. Interesting. There's also a keyboard shortcut for the map, which is very much better than double clicking it. This digital watch is a standard U.S. Special Forces issue timekeeping device. You see the time displayed down here, so you actually can take it on and off. Take it off, the time disappears. But there's really no reason to take it off, so I'm just going to keep it on. Here's your flashlight. Does not look like a mag light, which would have been badass flashlight of the day back in 1993. Those things used to be like 3 feet long if you got one with 4 batteries in it. Ah, look at that. How convenient. So I mentioned I'm retired, or have been for years. So I just watch games on YouTube right now, and the Rad Brad is pretty much the one guy I watch exclusively. So you're going probably to hear me use a lot of his catchphrases. I apologize. You know, what do they say, that mimicry is the best form of flattery? That something like that. You understand what I'm saying. So anyways, it says the batteries will last for 6 days with constant operation. We have 6 days to save the world. As the Rad Brad would say, how convenient. Double click to turn it on and off. You'll see if we turn it off, we lose some field of view out there. So I'm going to keep that on. Canvas bag. You don't notice anything interesting about the canvas bag. Okay. Of course, any container has one of these little triangles next to it. You click on that to expand it down. So we actually have our Colt 45 pistol. And the guns themselves are containers, of course, because they contain bullets. And our Colt 45 magazine is in there. However, it is empty. That is a bummer. And we have our survival knife. Double click to ready it for combat. Okay. And down in our messages window, there's not much going on here, except it's nice to see what the new enemies are called. But 1993, Bungie Software Productions Corporation. Written and designed by Jason Jones. Shout out, mad respect to Jason Jones. Like I said earlier, I would have no clue how to even start writing a game like this, so that's pretty cool. Graphics by Colin Brent. Good artwork, Colin. All right, that's enough of that. Let's start playing. So this is the main window, obviously. You can pause and unpause with escape. And the first thing we're going to do is turn around and try to get the hell out of here. Because really, I thought about it. I really just want to go drink some tequila on the Yucatan beach and, enjoy myself for 6 days. And so, this whole save the world thing, and the door doesn't open. Looks like we're stuck here. Shit, should have thought of that before we walked in here. So that's a little bit of a bummer. I swear, when I was playing this from the 3 floppy disk installation a long time ago, if you started a game and turn around and try to walk out the door, it popped up a funny message that was like, "You just got here. You don't want to leave already, do you? You need to save the world," or something like that. And this version apparently doesn't do that. So, but nevertheless, that door is sealed, and we must continue on. As what do they say in Inception? The only way forwards is downwards, or something. And let's walk along. Look at those textures. That is some hot shit for 1993. We're about to see some more magic. Ooh, that is a dead guy. He doesn't look good. And he has a high rate of decomposition. So one thing right off the bat that I love about Pathways into Darkness, the orientation of the objects on the ground. Always the same, no matter which way you turn, which way you look. It's the moon, baby. The same face always faces you. But, I guess that's about as good as you could do in 1993 when you're trying to fit a game onto 3 floppy disks. So let's kind of walk towards this, and we get a nice message here. You have just walked over a dead German soldier. Oh, German soldier. So he's been here since about World War II time frame. That's why he looks so bad. So this is not a member of your team that is 2 hours ahead of you. Search his body for weapons, ammunition, value, anything. So here's my first gripe with effing controller. He did not search a lot of the bodies. He did search this one, but there were many times, unless he went back and did it off camera, that he just failed to search bodies. Every body is about the best place you're going to get to find ammunition. So yeah, you want to search the bodies. So we're going to hit search, which is G key. Oh, and what do you know? He's got a Walther P4 pistol. We're going to take that. You're going to hear that awesome sound. So anytime you hear one of those sounds, it means that you scored a point, apparently, because now I have 1 of 41 points. Only 40 to go, baby. I guess the pistol is worthless. But we're obviously going to take all these magazines. Copy of Mein Kampf. Sure, why not? We might get bored. Take. All right, done there. And he also dropped a magazine. As you can tell in this game, there's no looking up, there's no looking down, there's no crouching, there's no jumping, there's no running. It is spinning this fast. There's also this look feature, which I actually never got into using. I never liked it. But yeah, that's it. Let's walk over this, and I promise this will be our final tutorial message. You have walked over an item. It will be picked up. In general, when you see something, walk towards it, walk over it, picks it up. Okay. And as it says, I think we'll get a message about that down in our window. Anyway, yeah, one thing that I think I remember, and we'll find this out eventually, when you die in this game, all the windows get reset to their default locations, which is annoying as hell. You saw how long it took me to to move them around, size them how I wanted them. The number one incentive in this game for staying alive is so you don't have to fiddle with your windows when you respawn. But let's continue on. Here's the door. Nope. So there is no action key in this game. Doors open automatically when you walk up toward them if it's a door that opens. And, let's check our map. We haven't looked at that in a while, so you can tell it's starting to draw itself in here. We can see the dead body on the ground. You are here. North with the sword, baby. All right, we got ladders, doors, save room, body. Okay, let's continue on our merry journey. As you see, this game throws you in the middle of it with absolutely no instruction other than some of the introduction in the instruction manual. It's just, here you go. Go figure this thing out. Here's a strange rune on the ground. What does this do? You see a strange blue rune. Who knows? You have no idea. Here's another door. It is locked. So, oh yes, one thing. As I've said, I'm an expert on this game. I'm going to try to find a nice medium between playing the game the right way, playing it to win, and not giving away spoilers. Because really, you could get dropped in here, you could get so far into this game, and you'd reach a point, I think, eventually where you just couldn't progress any further unless you got a very critical item early on in this game. And there's no guarantees that you're even going to find it because it's kind of off to the side, and you need it to beat this game. Anyway, so I'm going to go get that item. I'm not going to pretend like I don't know that it exists. I do know it exists, and we're going to go get it because it's an essential part of the game, even though the game doesn't direct you towards going to pick it up. So let's see. And I just so happen to know that the direction for that is this way. So we're moving along, moving along. Aha. So here we've come to a strange rune on the floor. I like how it says you see a strange rune, but when you check the map, it's like, oh, let me back up a little bit. It's like, yeah, that's a save room. So you see one of these red circles with a triangle in it, that is where you must save your game at. So I think I'm going to do that now. When we come back in the next video, we're going to climb up this ladder and see what awaits us. Until then.